You know, with Valentine's Day earlier this month, I've been thinking a lot about the saxophone. Now hear me out. It's clearly the sexiest instrument. I think that debate was settled with George Michael's Careless whisper. But it's also the funniest musical instrument, and I think that was proven by Sergio Flores, aka Sexy Saxman, and his viral parodies of Careless Whisper. The saxophone is versatile. It can be warm and elegant, as proven by John Coltrane. It can be complex and lively, as proven by John Coltrane. And it can be abrasive and relentless, as proven by John Coltrane. But these are all references to music that's decades old, and you want to know what's new in saxophoning, and don't worry, I've got you covered. My name's AJ, and this is what I've been listening to. So I think I've stumbled upon a trend. It's experimental rock music with influences of jazz, metal, funk, and avant-garde music. It has a sense of humor about itself, while also showcasing virtuoso-level playing. And it puts saxophone at the forefront. I'm calling it Sax-core. Amazingly enough, there's only one album on all of Bandcamp that is tagged Sax-core. It's a band called Cuzco out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They sounded good, it's solid melodic math rock, but oddly enough, not enough sax for my liking. So I'm not going to talk about them in this video, but I did want to give them a quick shout out. No, today the three bands I'm focusing on are Clowncore, Dumbwaiter, and Donk. There will be timestamps in the description in case you were wanting to carelessly whisper your way around this video. First up, let's talk about Clowncore. What is Clowncore? They're a drum and saxophone duo who play absurd and at times obscene music in equally absurd and obscene situations. Their 2018 album, Toilet, was recorded inside of a porta potty. Literally like the kind you would see at a construction site or a music festival. Just a portable shit. That's the album that first caught my attention, particularly when Adult Swim uploaded videos of their performances in that portable toilet. It's truly a sight and a sound to behold. The thing with Clowncore is that they disguise their identities behind killer clown masks and wigs, and people have speculated about their identities. There's plenty of hints online about it, but I'm not here to blow up their spot. I'm just here to rock out. With all the gimmickry, you might assume that they're a joke band and that the music is beside the point, but you'd be wrong, because on a technical level, this music is so impressive that it's kind of confounding that they would hide their identities and not just straight up take credit for this music. And the music is challenging for sure. It's aggressive and at times chaotic, but it can also turn on a dime into something that's cosmically transcendent or just even cleverly tongue-in-cheek. Okay, so today we're listening to Clowncore's newest release, which came out last fall. It's called Van. It came out with an entire accompanying music video album, so if you go to their YouTube channel, you can watch, I think, pretty much all of these songs as a YouTube video. And whereas with Toilet in 2018, they recorded that in a porta potty, this one's called Van because you guessed it, they recorded it in a van. They just decked out a minivan with their recording gear and they just had a driver take them around town and they just played their songs in this van while getting into some just weird and wonderful hijinks. This band has kind of a dark sense of humor, if you couldn't already tell. Their first track on this album is called Flat Earth. Let's go ahead and start with that one. They just use these synthesizers that just sound like you're being stabbed. Just listen to that drumming though. I'm gonna turn it up. It's like you can mosh to this, you can dance to this, you can just have a panic attack to this. They just, yeah. The music is just so start and stop. And yeah, but what? It's like you sometimes can't tell if you're hearing a synthesizer or a human scream or just some melding of the two. It's like, and then it just becomes this weird sort of electro techno rock deal. I just love those little clown horn honks. Oh, it's so brilliant. Like, it's such a little thing, but it makes such a big difference to the overall vibe of this. It's a brilliant sax solo. And it just ends like that, just under the 2-minute mark. Yeah, they do such a great job with always this tension and just like and tension release. You know, it's just like, it's exhilarating. It just really is, but it's also just hilarious. You know, it keeps you on your toes. You don't know if something funny is about to happen or just something like it's gonna make you jump out of your seat, you know? Ooh! I didn't mention in my intro that clowncore can get funky, but they sure as hell can get funky. I don't know where they get their synth sounds. Like, do they just Google most terrifying synthesizer sounds and go from there? Like, clearly these guys need to take a time machine back to the 90s and play with the Prodigy and Aphex Twin, you know, get on a Matrix soundtrack. And then they do stuff like that. That's beautiful. Next up, we have Dumbwaiter from Richmond, Virginia. This band came into my life in a really serendipitous way. A couple months back, I bought an album from Discogs, and the seller, I'm pretty sure, is either in this band or works with the label. They included a copy of their 3-song EP, Heck, along with my vinyl order, free of charge and without any heads up. So I was kind of caught off guard when I opened my package and saw that second vinyl in there. And just, you know, being adventurous, I decided I'm just gonna put this on and not even do any research. And hot damn was I blown away. It was aggressive and technical like clowncore, but it also had real funky sensibility. It was subtle, but it was there. Just a real knack for settling into a groove. It reminded me somewhat of Mr. Bungle's material from the 90s in its ability to be technical and challenging and also oddly accessible. And I attribute that to the emphasis on groove. Their stuff is a seamless blend of metal and jazz fusion that at times kind of has a circusy vibe, which is ironic since we were just talking about a clown-themed band. I'm going to listen today to their May 2020 release, which is called Tisk. Love that sax part there. So heavy and so groovy. You can kind of hear the through line though, right? Like, imagine going to a show with this band and clowncore on the bill. That drumming. I love a good stampede sounding drum. That's glorious. So all the change of tempos. Loving that tremolo picking guitar in the back there. There's a change up. So the first opening seconds of that song felt like a horror movie, and this kind of feels like a video game level. I mean that in a good way. And now kind of just a melding of the two. This album is only $7 digital. Are you going to spend a better $7 this week? I don't think so. And last but not least, we have Donk from Madison, Wisconsin. This band brings a whole host of influences to its saxophone-driven rock. You can hear everything from funk to ska to 90s alternative, even to surf rock in their music. They are the smoother and most accessible of the three bands I'm talking about today, but I wouldn't exactly call them mainstream. They also have their own offbeat sense of humor, which you see with album titles like Smarter Phones, Dumber People, and It Takes a Compound to Raise a Child. Donk has more of a jamming sensibility. You get more guitar solos and sax solos, but I would still consider their songwriting pretty tight and focused overall. And you definitely hear the 90s alt-rock influence. A lot of their songs would be right at home on a playlist with Butthole Surfers, I Mother Earth, or even the aforementioned Mr. Bungle. So we're starting with Donk's album Smarter Phones, Dumber People. They did release a live album last year, but this seems to be their most recent studio album. Some real scrunky guitar there. And what happens? Guitar is gonna pass it off to the sax. It's a little more of the punkier, ska-ish influence. Sorry, I was just vibing out to that one. Every song on this album just sounds like it's of a slightly different genre, but it all still feels cohesive. This one's real 90s alt rock. Yeah, like I mentioned, I Mother Earth. I don't know how familiar people are with that band, but they're just like this kind of jazz metal alt rock band from Canada. I hear that in this. So that's what I've been listening to. Weird and wonderful saxophone-driven rock music. Do you have any experimental sax rock bands that you're into? Are there any obvious bands that I should have put in this discussion that I just neglected to mention? As much as this series is for me to share the music I've been listening to, selfishly, it's also for me to discover new music, so I'm always down to hear what you have to say in the comments. So that's going to do it for me for today. Thanks for watching this video, and remember that if you liked it, you should definitely hit that thumbs up button because that helps me out. And if you like content like this and you want more of it, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can get notifications. This has been Good Movies and Music. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching and have a good day.